And here we go. We've got Anne-Marie, a.k.a. Rogue from X-Men. This thing, highly anticipated. Like, when they first announced this, I was like, this flipping go. I'm super excited about this. It's a limited edition. I don't remember how many. All right, guys, here we go. Anne-Marie from SooSooToys. Super excited about this SST-042 limited edition. They didn't make very many of these pieces, and I'm excited to have one in the collection. A little box art there. I would have. Now this is kind of interesting. This particular slipcover, I wish we had this head sculpt. Like it doesn't. No, like that's cool. That's a good look. It's a rendering, obviously, but whatever. All right, let's get into this thing. Looks like we got a jacket to contend with here, so we have to put that on. I'll have to figure that out in a second. Let's see here. There we go. I'm sure it's pleather and not real leather because this is a third-party piece, and the prices are not one that would, usually signify real leather, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and get this. I want to see this head sculpt. I want to see, there's been a lot of debate, discussion, complaints, whatever you want to say, with the suit sticking to, specifically the belt sticking to the material, like in transit, like it's a thing, like the belt sticking to it, and it's a problem. So let's go ahead and see what's going on with ours. We've got some plastic bits, and looks like they tried to protect it, but you got some hands, you got another head sculpt, or we'll do that in a second, and then we've got this which, it's typical SooSooToys base. No flight stand, which no flight stand for a character that flies. Maybe they didn't know she flew. I don't know. But let's go ahead and look at this real quick. First off, head sculpt wise, let's go ahead and zoom down here if we can. Head sculpt wise, this is the better of the two. No doubt. But here's what I want to know. So they looks like they had like some material. They tried to protect the belt against the suit. So that material is in between the belt and the suit around the whole thing. And that was the complaint, where this belt was sticking to it. And I will tell you from experience with these SooSooToys figures, and really figures of any of this material, I've seen it with other manufacturers as well. This manufacturing process, where I guess they 3D print, scan, screen print. I'm not sure what the technology is called for that. But this particular material, you see it with Spider-Man figures too, with Hot Toys. If you have this stuff like bent and it's touching each other, it's going to stick, and then the texture material gets peeled off of itself, and it doesn't look good. I've had it happen with a number of figures over the years, so it's just something you kind of live with. It's not a, it's not limited to SooSooToys, but this is the most recent one. That's why we're talking about it. Well, let's go ahead and get this little material out from. There's that, the belt. There's one on the back side, it looks as well. And maybe I should leave it there, right? I don't know. Maybe I should put that back. Like, you can't really see it, right? Maybe I should put that back. I don't know. Anyways, we'll deal with that in a little bit, but it does go all the way around. I might actually add that back. That's not a terrible idea, depending on how we pose this thing. But mine doesn't appear to have stuck to the material, and I'm banking that's part of the reason why. But this is kind of, it's a pretty good looking little material, honestly. It's the pleathery style, rubbery style material we've seen with other SooSooToys figures. You've got this hexagonal design here on the suit, which looks great. You see like the light bouncing around it. I dig that very much. One thing that kind of took me out of it, I would have preferred, and I'm, this is supposed to be like a comic inspired look for her. I mean, there's some Tyler Kirkham art covers with like this look on it with her and Gambit. It looks pretty cool. So I'm kind of going for that. I think they were going for that vibe. But this, I would have preferred this boots match this yellow. Now, I don't know. That's personal preference. These are more orangey, like with a dark wash over them. Like there's a lot. They're just, I don't know. I'm not saying it looks wrong. I don't think it looks wrong. Maybe it's a personal preference. I'd rather have those match. But, it is what it is. Head sculpt wise, this is definitely the better of the two. The hair is definitely sculpted. That is a lot of hair. And there's two pieces of magnet up here and a magnet back here. So there's a lot going on there. But it doesn't feel like the hair mass is so heavy to where like she won't be able to hold a pose because the hair is holding her back. I think that's not going to be too much of a problem. It is a split neck, so you can get range of motion wherever you want to get it to. But head sculpt wise, I don't think they nailed it on either one. I don't think either one of them are really up to like their highest and best head sculpts that SooSooToys has done, because they've really actually done some knockout figures and releases. But this one is okay, but I'm not going to, I'm going to call it like I see it. Not the best they've done. Now, the other head sculpt, I'll put that down without trying to break the hair off any pieces. The other head sculpt, I think, is unusable. I just don't. It's just. I mean, it's weird altogether. I guess we can take the hair off here. This magnet, see here, got a magnet there, got a magnet back here, and my dog's over here knocking stuff over. But all right, so we got that. There's that one, and then we got this piece right here. Like, I just don't. This one to me is gonna stay in the box. I'm not sure what it is about this I don't like. It might just be the entire thing. Like this sculpt right here, the I don't know. Not a fan of it. Some of you guys might be, but yeah, not me. This one's going to stay in the box. Like, I don't mind the hair. The sculpted hair I think's cool. I didn't really want to deal with the rooted hair. We saw rooted hair with their Bat Lady. I don't think they nailed that. I think that hair was a little too much doll-like. So I don't mind this. This is a large chunk of hair, the sculpted on here, but I do think this sculpt right here is going to end up staying in a box for probably anybody who owns the figure. But I could be totally wrong with that. You can let me know in the comment section below. But let's pop this one back on here. All right, it goes on pretty easily. You got this hair piece here that it doesn't really go that way, does it? It goes right there. Talker, hey buddy. Can you hang out for just a second while I finish this section? This sculpt right here, I think works just fine. Mobility, there's a ratchet on the shoulder, so that's good, because otherwise this material is going to be one of those things that kind of limits itself. Talker, hey buddy, can you hold off just 1 minute? That would be amazing. Thank you. Torso twist, I guarantee we're going to have some, but then we're going to this is going to be one of those figures I don't really want to go crazy with posing, which is, which is a little odd for me. Yeah, I don't know. I like the way it looks. I will probably pose the crap out of it anyways, but there's some details for you guys. See the difference in color? I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that just yet. There's the belt. The belt's nice. And it's not attached to the suit. It's a free-floating piece, but I think what's happening is like heat gets into this thing, and then it sits against it and then sticks. I will tell you, without a doubt, if you have the elbows bent in this way for any length of time, it's going to stick to itself, and you're going to have a problem. I have no doubt whatsoever with that. So the idea of bringing X-Men characters to life, I'm 100% on board with. I'd like to just do them all. Jean Grey, obviously Professor X. We want to see a proper Wolverine. I think SooSooToys can knock that out of the park. I think the limitations of the technology of the suit is really holding them back. Now, the other option they could have had, I guess, is to do a fabric suit on top of the body instead of this pleathery material, and I think that would have been just fine as well. They could even do like this pleathery stuff in the middle, and then out here could have been fabric, like a stretchy nylon fabric, and that would have been better off than this rubbery stuff that's going to stick to itself. So that might have been an option, an alternative for them to go. But I'm not a figure manufacturer, so I'm not sure what limitations there are with that, or what decisions are made based on whatever factors. But I think that would have worked out better, and then maybe wouldn't have this particular longevity issue with this particular figure. But we're here to look at poses. We're going to go look at some poses. We're going to break out Gambit, obviously, from SooSooToys, or the Cajun car dealer, and we'll see how these look together. And hopefully, SooSooToys will continue to give us some more figures from this line. All right, I was messing with this thing, and I was actually I was getting ready to pose. This is what I was getting ready to do. I was getting ready to do some poses, and so I moved the belt, and yeah, right there. There we go. So this is the complaint people were having with this particular suit, and it's a warranted complaint. That sucks. Literally, the material there has stuck to the belt, so even I mean, the belt will cover it, but that's just, anyways. There you go. Figured I'd show it to you guys because somebody's definitely going to be upset when they get that. There's no doubt about it. No, I mean, there's so much to like about it already, but that's just, yeah. Here's a better look. Just unfortunate, but anyways, let's continue on. So here's Rogue standing in a heroic pose, I guess, if you will. Nothing crazy, and honestly, it looks pretty good like this. We're going to definitely do some more dynamic poses with this. We'll push it to its limit, see what happens. But if you don't feel that ambitious or that brave based on what you saw of the suit, I completely understand that. You could absolutely have her pose just like this and have no complaints because she looks quite brilliant. Proportions look good. I do think the boots should be not as dark in color as they are. After looking at like some comic covers and just different references for her, they're definitely a different, it depends on who's drawing and who's coloring the suit, obviously, but I definitely prefer it where it's more matching to the yellow in the middle. Personal preference, comic artists, and colorists, they do different things. It does stand up. She definitely is a beautiful figure. From that perspective, as far as shelf presence, the hair, take it or leave it. It's not the worst sculpted hair I've ever seen. I'm glad it's not rooted, so there's that. And I definitely prefer this head sculpt over the alternative. There's no question about that. In fact, the other head sculpt they could have just left that one in the factory, and that would have been just fine for me as well. Now, I do think it's definitely a downfall that the suit is having issues with sticking to itself, the belt sticking to. That's just a bummer. That's choice of material. It's just kind of is what it is. But there are no other Rogue figures on the market. Like if you wanted Rogue figure to go with your Gambit, or maybe you have the other, X-Men, the Cyclops, and other ones from Sideshow, like this would look just fine with those. I think you would be pleased to have her in the collection. If you missed out on it, I don't know what to tell you because she's definitely available. I'm not like 100% sold on this one, but I'm glad to have it to go with the Gambit and hopefully some future X-Men releases. I don't think this is SooSooToys' strongest offering to the marketplace. They've definitely got some absolute bangers out there. This one's good, but it's not fantastic. I genuinely despise posing Gambit. I gotta be honest with you. Changing the hands, oh my God, I remembered why it was so frustrating before last year when I unboxed this figure. Holy crap. It's such a frustrating thing. The hands don't want to stay on because they're covered by that vinyl material, like the wrist pegs are covered by that vinyl material the suit's made out of. So you've got to like pull the vinyl part down, exposing the peg, and then try to, after heating up the hand, whichever hand that is, try to get it on the peg. Meanwhile, applying enough pressure to do so while trying not to destroy the pleather jacket that he's wearing. Absolute nightmare. Absolute. Oof, man. So forgive me if I don't do like 75 poses with Gambit. But I thought it was fair to put these two side by side so you can see what they're like. Because obviously if you got one, you're going to get the other. And I did have the glue, the magnet on the head of Rogue. The back magnet came unglued. So I had to re-glue it. I wait on the glue to dry, all that kind of stuff. So and glue, I don't mind that. That's just a thing with magnets that happens. But regardless, anyways, these two side by side. Gambit's got a good inch on her height-wise with his flowy, hair. Maybe a little longer than that. And the other, I like this hairstyle better myself, but they look brilliant together. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. They just look the part, right? They absolutely look the part. Look at these two, man. Just absolutely heroic and in need of the rest of the X-Men. So the question I got on the table is, will SooSooToys do a Jean Grey? Will they do a Phoenix, like a Phoenix version of Jean Grey? I don't know. You're going to have to let them know. So SooSooToys has their own Facebook group. You got to let your voices be heard. If you want more in this line, you got to let them know. I'm definitely going to share my thoughts with them on the construction of these things and just make some suggestions. The material flaking right out of the, or peeling right out of the box, I know for a fact they know that is unacceptable. I don't think they're going to brush that on the rug. They know what's going on with that. How they fix it, that's a question. I'm not a manufacturer. I think going with the fabric suit is definitely the way to go. And then they can do a texture material and fabric rather than this pleather style material. But I mean, there's some drawbacks to that too, right? There's some drawbacks to that too, because the way the light bounces off this rubbery, pleathery material looks good on a shelf. It gives some life to it. It's got some sheen to it, so I kind of dig that. Most of you are not posing these figures like weekly, but you want a dynamic flight character like Rogue to be able to do dynamic things, and you don't want the suit to be destroyed because of it. So that's a thing. So I don't know, I'm not sure exactly where I'm landing on this one yet. Gambit, other than the actual construction issues and changing out hands and all that crap, Gambit's just flipping amazing. Rogue, on the other hand, good companion piece, just not as good as Gambit. Now, to be honest, I could absolutely do a better job posing this and nail this, I think, except for two things. One, I don't want to change the hands again. As I mentioned earlier, they're a pain in the ass. Number two, the knee on Rogue, trying to get that double bend out of that, not working. Not working. I felt if I was to press the knee bend anymore, I felt like it was going to snap. So due to the material and the boot and just not wanting to break the figure, I decided to cheat and go with this. But these two literally were meant for each other. They're fantastic. So not the best figures in my collection. They're not. But if you want an X-Men figure and you want Rogue and you want Gambit, there are no better ones out there. There just aren't. So I would get these if that's something you're really into. So I took a minute and put the jacket on. And the jacket's actually been on there for a couple days. And I wanted to see kind of what would happen. I think long-term, it depends on how warm your room is. I have a feeling the suit will stick to the jacket. That's just... I haven't currently. It's not stuck currently. I guess I can do that. It's not currently stuck, But based on what we're seeing, like here, see if I can get this to focus for me. Based on what we're seeing here and here, where that's the belt, that's actually pulled away the material from the jacket or from the suit. I think the possibility of it sticking, I think it's within reason, right? So some final thoughts on this. I've had this for, a week or so now. And aesthetically, fantastic. The suit material, not that great. The wrist pegs changing the hands, absolute nightmare. I thought it was going to break the figure multiple times. SooSooToys, please fix the wrist pegs. Like they're just bad. I mean, all around. I think on every SooSooToys release I've had, they've been an absolute nightmare. I love the direction and the colors and the art style and everything about this is just pretty beautiful, right? On the shelf, looks great with Gambit. I thought I was going to throw Gambit across the room. If I had to change another one of his hands for Gambit, I might actually just throw it under a bus. It's that frustrating. But it's just one of those love-hate things, right? It just looks fantastic, but once you pose it and you stick it on a shelf, you're done. Like you're never moving that thing again. So yeah, and this head sculpt is definitely the one to use. I had to re-glue every one of the magnets on the head and hair. They all came out. So that kind of delayed production of the video a little bit because I wanted to wait on the glue to, cure and do its thing. But yeah, that's it. So, would I recommend this? If you're going to pose it once and be done with it, yeah. If you're okay with your suit having those issues, yeah. If you're going to be nitpicky and this is like stuff like this makes you, rant on Facebook or wherever and just like want to blow up, Facebook feeds and all that kind of crap without complaining about it, nah, this is not for you. It's not. If you want to throw it on a shelf, make it look amazing and leave it, and then you're good. So, you know, there she is. So take that what you will. That's my honest review on this guy or this lady. Yeah, I'm hoping SooSooToys does some more from the lineup. I'm just hoping they choose different materials. So, guys, that's my thoughts. As always, click what you like. See you next time.